Hi there and welcome. Today I'm talking about my YouTube live experiment over the last 4 weeks. I'm going to share with you my analytics, I'm going to share with you some of my rankings, and I also want to share with you a really interesting concept that will change the way you look at YouTube forever. Stay tuned to find out more. Okay, so sorry about that funny little introduction there, but I'm just going to go ahead and give you some awesome content today. Today I want to talk about what I've learned over the last month of running YouTube live events. It's been an extremely interesting journey, and I've learned so much. I've been able to engage so much with you guys watching this live right now, perhaps even you guys watching this as the replay. And today I want to share with you some of my learnings. Some of what I've learned, some of the things that I might do different, but really the results to decide whether I should keep on doing this and whether it's a good idea for you to engage in something like YouTube live events in particular. In general, I think live events or live video is an amazing thing that as a video marketer or someone who's using video to communicate with, you definitely should have as part of your arsenal. Whether it's YouTube Live or Facebook Live or Periscope or Blab, that still is a big question that remains. But perhaps after today's call, you'll have a different look at YouTube Live events and why or why not you should be engaging in it. So first of all, I'm going to cover my analytics. I'm going to share with you my actual iPad screen. They've got a really cool app on iOS that shows your results really nicely. I'm going to show and dig into that a little bit deeper, and analyze that, and make you see some of the trends that I'm seeing. Then I want to go to my actual results on YouTube and look at some of my rankings from these live events that I've been running. And then finally, I want to talk about a really cool concept that when you get it and understand it, it can make a huge difference over the long run for your success on a place like YouTube. So by the end of this, you should know for sure whether or not you should engage in something like YouTube live events and whether you should make that a part of your YouTube marketing strategy or your business marketing strategy, or whether it should be something you should fully engage. Okay, so let's jump into the analytics to get started with. So I think we'll jump over to here. So what you see here is my actual analytics from my YouTube account. So I'm being quite vulnerable here. I've just refreshed that to see the latest stats. So this is over the last 48 hours. So of course, over the weekend, I didn't have any shows. So my numbers are a little bit lower there for the last 48 hours. But what I really want to show you is the more longer term stuff. So over the last 28 days, we're going to look at watch time. We're going to look at views. We're going to look at average view duration. We're going to look at revenue. We're going to look at subscribers and actually probably most of these things. And I think this will paint a very interesting picture for what's been happening to my channel. And by the way, just to set this up, my channel has been in rest mode for the last 2 or 3 years, because what's happened is I decided to focus on my Splashio and V-roll businesses for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's meant that I've neglected my YouTube channel. And what I've noticed happening is my stats just started going down. My channel started dying. And so I wanted to see, in a way, starting from scratch again, what would happen to my channel if I run these YouTube live events. So it's been very, very interesting to see what's actually been happening. So let's have a look at these things. We'll start off with watch time. And so let's click on that. And so this is the watch time for the last 28 days. So this shows basically the kind of results and in terms of watch time in minutes of what I've been seeing on my channel. So when you just look at the last 28 days, it doesn't really tell you all that much. But let's look at now further back. So 90 days, this is what 90 days looks like. And you can almost start seeing a little bit of a trend here. So around about here, if I can use my mouse on here, this is pretty much where I started the live events. And I think I had a couple of other videos, live events before that, where I was just mucking around. But really, officially, I started here at the beginning of February, around about there. Or like 28 days ago now, a month ago. But more of a trend starts emerging when you start looking at a year ago. Now look at this. Or even if we zoom right out to all the results, I think. Yes, now this shows a more interesting graph. So of course, watch time only started getting recorded around about September 2012. So it doesn't go all the way back of my channel. But you can see there that I was, on sort of a nice plateau here, I guess, around about here, 2014 or even earlier, 2013. That's when I kind of stopped posting content on my YouTube channel. And it sort of had these big spikes, by the way, is when I've sent email broadcast to my videos. So, and of course, that would increase the watch time tremendously for those live events. But you can see here this tapering off here to the right, and until recently. So this is sort of here. You can start seeing now all of a sudden quite a steep increase in watch time. Now, of course, that makes sense. That makes sense, right? If I'm running a live event every day, it would make sense that I'm getting more watch time and all this sort of stuff, which is, so far, it is in line with my expectations, which is very, very interesting. So that's cool. That's cool. In terms of watch time, definitely increasing. And so, by the way, of course, you should know this by now, that YouTube, the number one thing that they look at for whether you're an authoritative channel and whether they should rank your content is, number one, your watch time. In other words, how long people watch your video for, in both a time, like a minute's look at it, and also a percentage, how much percentage of the video they watch. So they look at those things, and they've got a little formula they work out to see whether your content's more engaging and more watch-worthy than other people's videos. So the watch time is super important. So I am really pleased to see that my watch time overall for my channel is getting this nice steep increase. Who knows where that will go? This is only the first month. Who knows if I have a projection on this, where this would go? And I'll share with you something interesting here in terms of this angle of this graph in just a second. But yeah, watch time is where it's at, and of course session time as well. And live events, what's so cool about live events is that not only does it increase your watch time, but it also increases your session time. So how long people stay on YouTube as a result of watching your video. So if they just keep on watching your live event for like an hour or 2 hours, that means their session time is increasing as well. And then so those two things work together to help make your videos rank better in general. That's our understanding as well. In any case, going through the YouTube certification course, that's the sort of thing that you get taught there. So very, very interesting. So that's watch time. So first of all, watch time is looking promising. It's looking very promising in terms of the increases that I'm seeing here for the last month. Now, let's look at views. Now, just keep in mind as well, in general, so probably for 90% of my videos over the last 4 weeks, I haven't promoted them out to my email database or with paid advertising or going more wider. So for this first month, what I said was, I just want to see what happens on YouTube, in the YouTube ecosystem, and how YouTube is helping growing my viewership. So going forward, of course, and I'll touch on that maybe towards the end, I'll probably go into a different phase where I look at other promotional strategies, like getting my email list involved a lot more, promoting on Facebook, using video ads, all this sort of stuff. So I'll talk about that in a second. So just keep that in mind. I haven't gone out and specifically promoted my content on YouTube. So this is just looking at the YouTube ecosystem to see what are the results. Okay. So in general. So once again, in terms of views over the last month, 28 days, you don't see like a massive trend or anything, but let's look at the last 90 days. You might start seeing something else. So it's a slight upwards curve there in terms of views. So this is views, it's not watch time. You look at the last year, you start seeing something a little bit there, but if we start looking at all now, this is where it starts looking interesting for me, very interesting. And even though the numbers are still small, there's something very promising. It's a promising picture beginning here. So a couple of things here. So first of all, you can start seeing a nice little increase here for the last month. Okay, so it's definitely an increase in graph there. If I were to draw like a little line there, you'd see a relatively sharp increase there. So look at the slope of this increase here compared to the slope of, this starting slope here. So this slope here at the beginning is a lot lower than this slope that I'm seeing here right now. So that's very interesting. Of course, here in the beginning, I was only sort of posting once a week. Now I'm posting once a day during the week. So I've got 5 videos a week as opposed to just 1. So that could have an effect as well for increasing this steepness of this curve. Where's this going to go? The other thing that's interesting is that's only taken me a month to get back up to my original volume here in terms of views. So we're not quite there yet, but we are getting pretty close. So even though over the last 2 or 3 years, we've had this massive dip in viewership, it's just taken me a month to get almost back up to speed. So to me, that's very, very interesting and looking very, very promising. Enough for me to almost go, well, it is, so far so good. Put it that way. So far so good. Okay, so those are the views statistics, which is also, for me, looking very promising. But there's one in particular I'm going to share with you in a second that totally did my head in. I didn't understand what's going on. But then, by chance, I saw something behind the scenes that made me really excited. So I'll share that with you in a second. Okay, that was very cool. Now here's one. Here's one that's very, very interesting. So the average view duration. Now this is on average for my whole channel, right? For my whole channel. It's not just for the videos that I've been doing, individual videos. It's for all my close to 200 videos on my channel, and for all time. Not for all time, actually looks at the periods, but it looks for all my videos. What is the average view durations? In other words, on average, how long do people watch my videos for? So this is a very interesting one. So compared to the previous month, my average view duration has increased by almost a whole minute. A whole minute, people. That is a lot. So that's like a 33% increase in view duration for my whole channel just over the last month. My whole channel. So that is pretty crazy. Now let's look. So this is probably the most accurate way of looking, because I can now look at what I did in the last 28 days compared to the previous 28 days. Unfortunately, I can't look at what I did in the last 28 days compared to what happened in the last year. Actually, maybe I can. So we know for the last 28 days, actually here, it's 4 minutes and 2 seconds. So let's look for the last 90 days. The last 90 days overall was 3 minutes and 27 seconds. So that, of course, includes the last 28 days. So let's look a little bit further back. The last year is 3 minutes and 16. And let's look at all. So if we look at the lifetime average view duration, it's just gone under 3 minutes. And now the watch time, if you look at it for the last 28 days, is like over 4 minutes. So that is looking very promising. So once again, a massive improvement there for my whole channel, not just for any particular video. It's like a whole channel. So just the stuff that I did in the last month has improved my watch time, my overall average watch time for my whole channel by 33%, which is a lot, if my math is correct there. I didn't check the math exactly, but you can see there's a very obvious improvement there. So already now you can start seeing there's a picture here. But the next one, the next couple are interesting. But you can start seeing a very interesting picture emerging here that's looking very, very promising. We're only 1 month into it, but it's looking very promising already. Okay, now look at this. Okay, so this is an interesting one, my estimated revenue. Now, it's extremely low. And the reason is that I don't really monetize my videos. I might have, before the last two or three shows, I probably would have had 3 of my 180 videos monetized. Just recently, as in the last 3 shows, I've started monetizing my videos. So that's another experiment that I'm just kickstarting. So I can't comment on that yet. So really, this doesn't really tell me anything, because my videos hasn't been monetized. So one big experiment that I might do in the next month is start monetizing, and I want to see what happens on my videos then. So previously, I wouldn't monetize my videos because I thought it was annoying, and I didn't want people to be put off by ads and stuff like that. But thinking about it and talking also to Lindsay from, I forget her channel's name, she's not on the call today. But it seems like there's a likelihood that your rankings and views might increase when you actually monetize your videos. And it does make sense from YouTube's perspective. They want to rank videos that they can make more money from. It just makes sense from them from a financial perspective. So as long as your video is engaging and if you've got good content, if you monetize it, there seems to be, just by looking at behind the scenes, because YouTube doesn't give us this information, but it seems to be a good chance that you can be getting more views and building a better audience much faster when you monetize. So I'm certainly going to experiment with that over the next month to see if I turn monetization on. what's going to happen? What's going to happen to my channel? So I don't really have a conclusive result here, mainly because I haven't been monetized. So that's kind of a, not much information there. Now this next one, subscribers. This is the most interesting one for me. So over the last 28 days, you can see there has been an increase, 26% increase, but a lot less than I thought it would increase. I thought that if I would go and create great content every day, surely my audience would grow a lot faster. So I've been quite disappointed. In fact, if you look at the 90 days graph, it doesn't look all that much better. If you look at the last year's worth of subscribers, same thing. It just kind of still looks the same. Even if you look at all the data, that you can see there was a peak there when I was still publishing content a lot there in 2013 or 2012, around about there. But then it just kept on tapering off, and it's not really a big increase there towards the end. Not like I'm seeing with my views and watch time. So what's going on here? What is going on here? Why am I getting such great increases in watch time and session time and retention rate and views, but my subscribers are not increasing? And I was almost getting a bit discouraged. I was thinking, I'm doing this to grow my audience. Like, what's the point if I'm not building up my subscriber base? Do you know, you guys watching this live now, even if in the comments area, if you're wondering, you can comment on this. Do you have an idea why my subscriber base hasn't increased as much as I thought it would? There has been an increase like 26% or whatever in the last 28 days compared to the previous 28 days. So there has been an improvement, but why not as much as I thought? Like, why can't I visually see a nice increase? What do you think? Let me know in the comments area. I wonder if you have an idea why that is. And while you write those comments, I'm gonna get something else ready for you that sort of blew my mind a bit and sort of explain the reason, and it pointed towards a reason why I think my subscriber base didn't increase as much as I thought it would. So I'm going to see if I can pull up those stats while I see you guys comment here. Okay, the comments are starting to come in. Okay, let me just see. I'm going to just get the screen ready for you guys. So here we go. All right. Okay, I've got the screen ready. So let's see some of the comments coming through. Okay, this is very interesting. So Fraser, we did start early today because it's Eastern Standard Time. There's daylight saving time in America, of course, so I had to do it an hour earlier compared to normal. Okay, share more social media. Yeah. So Robin, hey Robin, thank you for sharing this. I haven't seen you here before. I'm going to subscribe to your channel right now. I haven't seen you here before. Good to have you here. Suggesting that I share more on social media platforms. Yes. So I think that's going to be part of my next month or the next part of the experiment to get that out to a wider audience. That helped Robin quite a lot. So great. Thank you for sharing that, Robin. Okay. So Roberto is saying, is existing viewers being the dominant viewers? Okay. Possibly. That's a good answer. Mike Holmes is saying weighted to live views. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, good answer. Fraser saying you can tune in these videos fairly easily without subscribing. Subscribing perhaps doesn't give that much benefit. Good point. Interesting point. Danny's saying, hi, Mike. Robin is saying, find Facebook groups and share your videos. Yes, okay, cool. All right, so a few interesting ideas there. It wasn't very obvious, and it was only more obvious when I saw the results on my normal analytics inside on my desktop. Okay, so I'm going to share that with you guys now. So it looks like this. Now, in terms of the graph, when you just look at the graph, and this is what you sort of see when you look at the stats on your iPad little app, right? The mobile app. You sort of just see the graph. What you don't see is these numbers here at the top. So it says your subscribers for the month, and it says then subscribers gained and subscribers lost. So, isn't this interesting? So, for the last month, I had 613 subscribers, but I lost almost 300, almost lost a half of them. That's interesting. So, and that got me thinking, why am I losing so many subscribers? I've never lost like 50% of my subscribers in a month. Is this YouTube Live thing really worth it? Why are people unsubscribing? So there's a number of reasons, a number of things potentially happening here. One, which I'm not sure if it is the reason, but it could be, is that people are seeing me doing just live events now and going, oh man, he's just doing live events. It sucks. I don't want to watch his long live events videos or whatever. I'm going to unsubscribe. So that's one potential reason. And it's going to be difficult for me to find out exactly what these reasons are, but that's one potential reason. One that is more likely, I think, is that I've moved on from where I was 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. I've changed a lot in terms of my knowledge, my experience, my whole attitude. The reason I'm doing these videos now are very different to the reason I did them 2 or 3 years ago. Back then, it was more like a push, 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 push. Let's get this stuff out there. Let's make a difference or whatever else I need to, it was like a pushing from my side. Now, it's more like a calling. Something is calling me and pulling me rather than me pushing. So, my whole being and attitude and everything about my whole presence is different. And also my whole emphasis is different too. I don't create little tactical videos anymore on how to get more views or little tricks and things like that, or video production tricks. I might have still some of that, but it's much deeper stuff now. And maybe what's happening is that the old audience who used to like the old Gideon, they don't like the new Gideon anymore, and the new channel and the new content, and they're unsubscribing. And at first I was going, oh, I'm losing those subscribers. But now I'm thinking, no, actually, that's good. I do not want people as subscribers who don't want to be here. I only want people who love me and love my content who want to be here. So I'm actually really happy with people unsubscribing who don't want to be here. So when I saw that and realized this is what's actually happening, that was really encouraging too. So I think this is my prediction, I should only see this phenomenon in the first month of me doing this. So where basically a lot of people who used to be subscribed, they don't like what I'm doing now, we're getting rid of them, but we're getting a lot of new subscribers. I mean, my actual subscribers gained, I think, has doubled. It hasn't just increased by 21% or whatever. This number here, if you look at the new subscribers gained compared to previous months, is more like doubled now. So it used to be like 300 or whatever. Now it's like 600. So it's like more of a 200% increase. And for me going forward, that's very exciting. So it means that I'm starting to attract the right people, and a lot of them too. And I'm losing some of the old folks who don't want to go on the journey with me, which I'm totally cool with. So that was the biggest and most interesting thing that I saw with my statistics. So there are probably some other reasons as well, and ones that I might never be able to know. But looking at that from that point of view is a very encouraging thing for me. Okay, so what else do we have here that I can share with you? So that's subscribers. That was probably the most interesting one. Watch time from subscribers. So this is an interesting one as well. So over the last 28 days, 71% are from people who are not subscribed, 28 from subscribers. So it's just interesting to look at what my subscribers are doing compared to the last 90 days. There's a slight difference there. It's just like it looks like more of my subscribers watching my content now compared to a year ago, for example. Actually, there's a big difference here, and this does make sense. So from a year ago, only 13.7% of my subscribers are watching my content. And that makes sense because I wasn't creating new content. And now that I've got new content, my subscribers get updated on that and they come and watch. So it makes sense there. So this one wasn't too surprising for me to see. So that's interesting. Let's see compared to all. It's like subscribed is only 9% compared to all. And if we do that for the last 28 days, now it's like 30% in terms of 28% of my subscribers are watching my content now, which is great, which is good, which is exactly what I was expecting. Percent liked versus disliked, that hasn't changed too much. In general, people seem to like my content. And the top videos, well, that hasn't changed too much. Not too much to talk about there. So there's a few other things here that I think we could go into, but I'm not going to bother with it. I think we've covered the main bits in terms of the main statistics. The next thing I want to show you, okay, so first of all, before we move on to the next thing, is that, so far, so good. The statistics, just looking at the statistics, my views, watch time, subscriber base, whatever else in there, it's all looking very promising. And so far, so good. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to see is what is it doing to my rankings? Is it helping me rank better? And I haven't done a full analysis on that yet, and maybe I'll do one in another month to see if there's a big difference in my overall rankings. But what I can tell you is that the live events that I have been running, they've been ranking extremely well, extremely well. Okay, so for the keywords that I'm targeting. So I want to share with you some of those results now and show you how cool that is. And I won't be able to show you everything, but I'll show you some of the main ones. So I've pulled up a few of them here. So this is my most recent one. So I wanted to rank for how to make engaging videos. And as you can see here on the first result, the first page of YouTube, I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. I just had to sneeze. Okay, so on this first page results of YouTube, 5 of them results. So I ran these videos just last week, and so all 5 of them are on the first page. So number 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 results on YouTube. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. So this was a very interesting experiment. I decided to, for the whole week, just hone in on the same keyword phrase. And it seems to have paid off. So this is one thing you can notice here. It's very visible, which videos are mine. These templates, thumbnails make a big difference visibly. So imagine you've got 5 or more of your own results on the first page of YouTube, and they're all different video content, of course, and valuable content. How's that going to change how many views and subscribers you're going to get over the long run? Just think about that. So that's a really cool experiment. It's probably the best one I've done over the last month. Here's one that was a very competitive keyword phrase: iPhone versus Android video app showdown. I'm ranking number 1 for that one. Let's just quickly see iPhone versus Android video app. I'm going to see if we rank at all for a more competitive phrase like that. Okay, so I don't, but very interesting enough, JB, he's ranking there, and it was exactly the same video. That's the little experiment we ran last week where we streamed the same video to our 2 different channels. So for some reason, JB is ranking better for that one. I'm not even on the first page. So that is a very interesting result right there. This was on how to predict the future and profit from it. I'm ranking number 1 for that. Let's see if I just go for how to predict the future, a much more competitive phrase, and see if I'm even on the first page of YouTube. I almost don't think I would, because that one was very competitive. If I'm on the first page, I'll be very surprised. Oh, I am. Okay, so I am on the first page. I'm not towards the top, but I am on the first page. So who knows? That'll maybe send me a lot more traffic over the coming few months as well. That was an interesting one. Here's one: how to turn your iPad Pro into a Wacom Bamboo graphics tablet. So a very long tail sort of keyword phrase. Ranking number 1 for that. So let's take a few of these words out. How to turn your iPad. Let's take Pro out into a graphics tablet. Okay, so that's more of what people are searching for. It's a much more competitive keyword phrase. And once again, I'm not the first result, but I am number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 result for that. Not too bad for a fairly competitive keyword phrase. Okay, cool. So that should definitely send me a lot more traffic over the next few months as well. Let's see over here. We have video ad campaigns. So that's the whole title that I had in there. This one is not as what was interesting here, okay, there's a very long tail keyword here. No one's going to type that in, but there's a lot of my results on the first page again. So not just my video, I've actually got some playlists starting to rank as well. These ones I just created last week. My channel is ranking. There's another playlist ranking, which is not even from me. It's from someone else that created that playlist. So thank you, Ruben Martinez, whoever you are. If you're watching, that's you rock. There's another video ranking. So this was interesting that like a lot of my other results are ranking here that I didn't expect at all. So if I just go something like video ad campaigns, I'd be very surprised if I rank for something like this. Well, I do. Oh my goodness. So video ad campaigns, much more competitive keyword phrase, are number 1, 2, 3, 4 result on YouTube for that. So very interesting. I've seen some very, very promising results here in terms of rankings. How to optimize your video on YouTube. So this is a very popular keyword phrase, and I do rank not on the first result, but certainly the first page. So that's a pretty cool result I'm happy with. Wirecast Go. Eileen, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, I'm outranking you at the moment, but certainly I'm number 1 for that one, which is, instead of I didn't type an app review, which would make it more long tail, which would make it easier to rank for. But this one, even for just Wirecast Go, I rank #1 for that one, which is pretty cool. So obviously you can see there's a lot more views coming through for that one as well. A lot of people searching for that. Live Air Solo app. So Eileen, you're doing well with this one. I'm only ranking #4 for this one, so that's interesting. I do have more views though, so I'm interested to see. This was an interesting one. For a while there, I didn't rank at all, and I'm not sure what happened to this live event. Eileen and everyone else watching this, this was very interesting. So Eileen's doing a great job there with her videos. I think she's watching live at the moment. Yes, she is. Okay. So this one was how to build a personal brand. And this is a very competitive keyword phrase. People like Gary Vee, TEDx Talks, Lewis House, all these famous people showing up. My little video is showing up as well. And if I remember right, I didn't do a particularly good job at optimizing for this keyword phrase, but I do show up here on the first page as well, which is nice to see. How to create super engaging videos. This one came out really well. Okay, so not as many people will search for that, but a lot of my results are showing again on the first page here of YouTube. Maybe not as many. 3, was it 1, 2, 3 videos, which is great. Live streaming setup, I wanted to see there. I don't think I got really good results there for that, for whatever reason. Okay, and these are some other results. These are not the results. Anyway, so in general, when it comes to rankings for the last month, the videos that I've created, it seems extremely promising. I seem to be ranking really well. Even, let's see for today's video, YouTube live events. Let's type in a search for YouTube live events, because that's a pretty competitive keyword phrase. YouTube live events. And we'll leave this page, yes. Let's see how today's one is ranking. So I'm running it live right now. Okay, so there we are. So this is super duper competitive keyword phrase. So interesting enough, I'm not #1. There's an ad there. There's actually the YouTube's own channel's #1, which makes sense. We've got Daryl here. He's doing really well with his rankings, but I'm here on the first page, and this is live right now. This is live right now, which is very cool. So it'll be interesting to watch this one over the next few days, whether it'll move up a bit or whether it's just going to stay there. Okay, very cool. So in terms of rankings and ranking live content, it seems to work really well. So we've got 2 check marks there. The stats are looking good, it's going in the right direction, and the rankings are looking good as well. One more thing that I need to look at is my overall rankings, whether my overall rankings for other videos have been increasing as well. And I need some special tools to be able to figure that out. But that was very interesting to see my videos ranking really well for the keywords that I'm ranking for. So boom, 2 check marks. So what does this all mean, and where's this all going, and is it worth me continuing this and pursuing this? And is it worth you looking at this and saying, is this something that you should be doing as well? So obviously this is a limited test. It's not something that I could split test against other normal content, and maybe that's another experiment that I could run, but to be honest, I'm not going to do that, because I want to do live events a lot more, because a few reasons. One is it helps me engage with you guys a lot more, especially with the live audience. It helps me engage with you guys. And I'm at a stage now where I'd much rather go deeper in my relationships than wider. So it's good if it's wide, but I want to have that depth. And I think that's where the magic happens, when you have that depth in the relationship. So I'm definitely going to continue this. And here's why. Here's another reason why I'm going to continue, other than ranking and analytics and being able to connect in a much deeper way. But look at this. This is something that I think a lot of people don't realize about this YouTube strategy, or doing live events regularly. So over time, it looks like this. And so at the moment, if we say this is today right here, or sort of this is the last month. Sorry, the last 28 days. Okay, my writing is not so good today. Oh my goodness. So I am starting to see an increase here. Definitely starting to see an increase in my statistics. So this is just volume in general, and this is over time. Now, my prediction is that over time, as I do this, this graph should just keep on going up. And I would get at some sort of a point where this steepness will just increase. It'll get to some sort of a critical mass or a breakthrough point where it'll just start increasing. And the reason I predict this point to happen, the breakthrough point to happen, one reason is because I've seen this time and time again. With anything that I've focused on, the longer I do it and the better I get at honing in on the message and the people that I'm targeting, etc., and the longer I'm just doing it for, you get to a point where you just get to a tipping point and everything changes. Now, think about it in terms of your actual content. So over this time, if I'm producing a new video every day, 5 days a week for the next year, that's like, say, 50 times 5. That's sorry, I'm drawing on my screen here. You guys can't see it. It's like over a year's time, that's 250. That's 1 year. 250 new videos. Now, if I have 250 new videos on my channel, and each one of them ranking for some sort of a keyword or a long tail keyword, what do you think is going to happen to my overall traffic, my overall engagement, my overall subscriber base in a year's time? So at the moment, I've only got 5 times 4, it's 20. I've only got for this fifth month, there's only 20 new videos to my channel. In a year's time, it's going to be 250 videos. What do you think is going to happen to my watch time if for 5 days of the week, I run a YouTube live event and at the same time, my audience is growing? So at the moment, the numbers are very small. The live audience is very small. But what if I get to 100 people watching this? So at the moment, it's like 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, right? What's going to happen to my watch time of my channel once I get to 100 people watching this every day? What's going to happen to my channel and the watch time if it gets to 1,000 people watching these live events every single day? And I continue this and I keep on doing them every single day. What's going to happen? You can start seeing here, there's going to be a trend here that's going to go up, definitely. But I think at one point, this is my prediction, at one point, we're going to get to this breakthrough point. And then all of a sudden, everything is just going to become like insane. And so that's what I'm working towards. That's what I'm looking towards. So at the moment, I'm sort of being patient here. We're just at the beginning. For me, this is early days. This is really just early days. But the more I do this, the more excited I get about this. All the results are pointing in the right direction. And so I'm going to keep going with this. And I encourage you, and I want to inspire you to look at this very seriously as well, to do something like this for yourself as well. Maybe you don't have the time to do this every day, but maybe you can do it once a week. But get engaged. Build a connection, build a community with your audience here on YouTube. Some of the other things I want to pursue and look at is paid advertising, how I can use paid ads on my channel to grow my viewership, how I can use Facebook and other social media sites like one of our callers in today, what was his name again? Robin was saying, looking at other social sharing to help grow my channel. Those are things I want to do as well. Also, I'm going to start introducing my email into it a lot more. So I'm going to start promoting my content, my live events, perhaps once a week, to see what that does to my channel as well. So I've been seeing these improvements, and all I've been doing is mostly, like 90% of it, just operating here on the YouTube ecosystem. What I wanted to start doing now is start looking wider and how I can promote this audience out. Now my prediction is over the next month, that should increase my growth again as well for this channel. Anyways, guys, there's a lot more to it than this in terms of what I'm planning and what I'm visualizing and thinking about, and perhaps some of that will come through over the next few weeks, months, and years. But I encourage you to stay tuned. If you're not subscribed yet, guys, make sure you stay subscribed to see and to follow me on this journey of running these live events. And if you want to learn more, make sure you stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot more learnings, a lot more information that I'll be sharing on this channel. Give us a thumbs up and make sure you share on the social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, either below this video if you're watching on desktop, or at the top there if you're on mobile. So one of my subscribers said it's below the video on Android, so I don't know exactly. Just go and look for those social sharing buttons. Go ahead and share this if you like what I'm doing here. If you want to see me continuing, give us a thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing you guys on my next call. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to my live Q&A and see if there's any questions. We'll do about 10 minutes of that. and then we'll bring the call to an end. So if you're not watching this live at the moment, make sure you tune in 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA, from Sunday to Thursday. That's when I'm running these live events at the moment. Right, guys, I'm going to switch over to the live Q&A now. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.